What's going on, everyone? It is May the 4th. Be with you, 2021. And here we are tonight for our Tuesday night NXT post show. Let me know how you guys are doing down in the chat. Let me know what you thought about tonight's show down in the chat as well. Hope everyone is doing good. Hope you guys are doing great. I myself feel like $1,000,000, man. I feel like $1,000,000. You know why? Because I did not watch Monday Night Raw last night. Whew. I had a great time over on the gaming channel, youtube.com/Phantom Spec, playing some games. WWE 2K20 Universe mode, which didn't really go as planned. And then we played Fire Pro Wrestling World as well, which was absolutely amazing. Chef says you sent me the posters. Oh, I haven't checked those out. Okay. I'm going to have to check those out. Obi James says you missed a fantastic show last night. I do not believe you, my friend. I do not believe you. I am not going back to watch it. James says, is AOW Underground basically wrestling comedy, kind of like GTS wrestling? I don't know what GTS wrestling is, but no, not necessarily. Not comedy based. We had a great time. We just had a lot of fun. And the chat just loved Ribby. So chat booked Ribby in like everything. Yeah, I've had a couple people tell me that Raw was good, and I don't believe it. Here's why I will tell you. This is all I need to know. And I feel like this is all anyone needs to know about Monday Night Raw. Mansoor, this man's, was on a 49 match winning streak. 49-0. 49 wins, 0 losses. this record got him a contract for Raw, apparently. So he gets signed to Raw. The guy that has gone 49-0, his first match on Raw ends in a disqualification. If that is not the most hashtag must be Monday shit I have ever heard of in my entire life, I don't know what is. I don't know what is. And I'm so glad that I was not there to watch it. I'm so glad. You know what also happened on Monday Night Raw last night? Angel Garza shoved a rose in Drew Gulak's ass and then kicked him. I'm like, all right, you know what? No, I'm good. I'm good, bro. That's all I needed to know. I am good. I am good, man. I am good. WWE Emoji says, will 2K20 be back up and running? So funny thing is that I restarted my computer after the stream, after we were all done, and I booted up 2K20 and it worked perfectly fine. I don't know what the deal was. So what I'm going to do is, I don't know if I'll have time to do it tonight or maybe tomorrow or something like that. But what I plan on doing is going through and recreating the entire roster and everything. And since a lot of people tuned in and a lot of people enjoyed it, I'll go through and make some graphics and make our own arena and stuff like that. And we'll start from the beginning. We'll start from the very first show and we'll do that. And then some other times, you know, we could play 2K20. We could play Fire Pro. Sometime we could switch over to Wrestling Revolution 3D or something like that as well. So you know what? Actually, let me put this down there. Let me do a cheap plug. Let me do a cheap plug of my own shit. Let me plug my own shit on my own shit. Okay, there you go. That is the gaming channel, youtube.com/Phantom Spec. We had a fantastic time, and it's gonna be a weekly thing for sure. On Mondays, we will be doing AOW Underground instead of watching Monday Night Raw. And you know what? I might do it on Thursdays and Fridays as well. Might do it on all those. Let me pin this. Make sure to go subscribe to youtube.com/Phantom Spec. I want to get monetized over there as well. I'm a little ways away. But if we continue to have things like last night, that was amazing. And I loved it. Chloe says Humberto is the future of AOW Underground. Oh, no. Oh, no. Maddie says, as we saw tonight, we need Cameron Grimes in there. Yes. Jeremy says, why Friday? Because SmackDown is not good either. That's why. So this Friday, I'm going to be covering SmackDown since it's the throwback edition and all of the stuff like that. So I'm going to watch that one. But I think after that one, I think I'm just going to... I need a break. I need a break from Raw and SmackDown. I still enjoy NXT. Some questionable things happen on NXT, but that's fine. And I still like Dynamite, so I still plan on covering NXT and Dynamite, and I still plan on doing post shows for NXT and Dynamite as well. You know, I might try to do some review videos on SmackDown or Raw if I end up watching them, but man, last night was amazing. Like, it was so nice to just not deal with all the bullshit. It was so nice. James says Ribby's head is huge in Fire Pro. It is, man. It is. Disciple Zach, my friend, he says, and I comment the results in chat during the live stream, so I'm taking one for the week every Monday on that good disciple shit. Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate you. And you know what? Since the woos were broken yesterday, here we go. Chef says, by the way, on the posters for the superstars, I put what they're known for and their win-loss record. Amazing, dude. Okay. I'm certainly going to have to check those out after we do this tonight. I have a very limited time. I need to be here for an hour. All I have is an hour tonight. I'm so busy with some other stuff that I need to take care of. Like, everyone contacted me at the same time to fix their things. So I got to go through. Let's see here. Trevin says the card for NXT Next Weekly is stacked. Yes, it is. It's crazy. Jeremy says, I hate to stop watching Raw for a while. It sucks that it's come to this point. It does, man. It does. And that's what I was talking about. I think it was on, man, I can't remember what stream. It might have been the SmackDown stream where it was just like, look, I'm at a point, man, where it's like, it's so tough for me to watch these shows. Like, I have such it used to be so much fun, and I used to want to stay home, and I used to want to watch these shows. I used to want to cover them. I used to want to do post shows for them and spend my time doing these. I told you guys, I value my time more than anything in the world. Like, my time is way more important than money. It's way more important than anything else. So for me, like, taking all of my time and spending so if I cover Raw for 3 hours and then do a 2-hour post show, that's 5 hours of my life on Monday. SmackDown, 2-hour show, 2-hour post show, that's 4. So that's 9 hours. 9 hours of my week that's just gone. It's just gone. So I feel like I need a little bit of a break. I need to separate myself for a little bit. I never wanted to come into this being negative, because that's not the type of person that I am. But it's kind of turned into that, just because I don't know if I'm just not their core audience anymore. I don't know if I've outgrown WWE, Raw, and SmackDown at that point. I'm not sure, but as of right now, well, I'm going to be covering SmackDown this Friday. But as of right now, I'm just kind of, I need a break. So James says just do a post show of Raw and SmackDown all together. I've thought about doing a Sunday stream that's just kind of like a free for all. That's kind of like we talk about anything wrestling related on from Raw, NXT, Dynamite, SmackDown, whatever sort of news there is, Impact stuff, just kind of whatever it is. I've thought about doing that. We'll see how it goes. Alex says, I thought Raw was pretty good this week and says this is my first time watching. Well, thanks, man, for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate you. NXT, I thought was pretty good tonight. I thought it was a little weak in the middle, but man, opening match, fantastic. Closing match, absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. I loved it. Leroy says, I'm going to Mississippi on Friday, so I may or may not be here for the Friday post show. No worries, my friend. Hope you have a good time if you're going on vacation or whatever it is that's going on. Ashton says, WWE has fallen off so much, it's embarrassing. This isn't the WWE I grew up watching in 2006. Yeah, it's changed a lot, and I have a hard time. With it because, like I said, I'm not the person. I don't want to be negative. I don't want to. It's not my intention to just be like, I'm just going to go shit on Raw tonight. Yeah. Like, oh, I'm just going to piss everyone off. It's like, no, that's not what I want to do. I want to come out here and have a good time. I want to enjoy myself. I want to chat with all of you. And it's just gotten to a point where it's just not. It's not. So I think I'm going to take a little break and evaluate things and see how it goes. And we'll go from there. Like I said, after WrestleMania, I kind of wanted to change things up, and this is kind of step one in changing things up. So we'll see how it goes. I want to try some other things. I did not think that last night was going to work. I didn't think anyone was going to come for a 2K20 universe mode, and more people came to that than they did to the post shows. So I don't know. I'm kind of excited about that because I love gaming and I love doing this YouTube stuff. So I don't know. Maybe we'll do some more of that. WWE Emoji says, I'm not going to lie. Raw used to be so much fun during the PC era. Yep. NXT was great. I agree, man. Hoodie says the main event was fire. I agree. Maddie Jackson says, I really want to see more of Tyler Rust. I think that guy has a great future ahead of him. Yeah, and is he still with Malcolm Bivens? Because Malcolm Bivens, man, that guy is incredible. Marcel says, did you see the Pilana Productions video people are talking about? I have not. But feel free to let me know. I'm assuming if that's the guy that I'm thinking of, it's probably some sort of copyright thing or something like that. Anthony says, off topic, what if Daniel goes to Raw and tag teams with Drew Gulak? Sure. I'm down with that. I would love to see Daniel Bryan in NXT, though. That'd be great. I want to see Daniel Bryan and Pete Dunne. I want to see Daniel Bryan and Adam Cole again. I want to see tons of dream matches when it comes to that kind of stuff. Ashton says, I want to get my hands on Fire Pro Wrestling. It's so good, dude. It's so good. I love Fire Pro Wrestling. If you're more of the, I mean, I guess I kind of fall on both of the lines here. Like, I really like the aspect of simulation stuff. Like, I like the ultra realism of WWE 2K20, but like, I also love the arcadiness of Fire Pro and stuff like that. It makes it so much more fun. Look at the recent. How do you spell this? I mean, this is kind of weird, but I don't really watch wrestling videos, so I don't know. Okay, let me see. Plana Productions YouTube. Let me see here. Why AEW sucks, and it says AEW is bad. Oh, well, sounds like some clickbait shit to me, if I've ever seen it, or it just sounds like, oh, well, I don't know. The header kind of tells me differently because it's a WWE logo. I don't know. I couldn't care less what someone else thinks about a TV show. Oh my god. Ugh. Oof. Okay, I'm good. Lever says, how do you get Fire Pro Wrestling? So it is on Steam. You can buy it on Steam on a computer, or you can also get it on the PlayStation Store, I believe. It's somewhere around like 15 or 20 bucks, and then they have DLC that's also like 10, 15, 20 bucks a piece. I really recommend regular Fire Pro with the New Japan DLC. The New Japan DLC is great. Comes with a story, like a career mode, and all the New Japan wrestlers. The light heavyweight story mode is great as well, or is it the heavyweight? I don't know. Whatever the other one is, it's really good. It's worth it. It's worth it. It's a lot of fun. And like the community creations, like the workshop thing on Steam is A1, incredible. Marcel says, he said, I haven't seen AEW for 6 months, and then makes his opinion. Yeah, so why would anyone care? Why would anyone care? Like, if you haven't seen something in 6 months, I don't think you should probably necessarily be talking about it in terms of that. Or, I mean, I guess you could say, like, hey, I haven't watched AEW in 6 months, and this is why. Drunken Wrestling. No, but I remember you mentioning it, so I'm going to Google it here really quick. Drunken Wrestlers 2 on Steam. Oh, God. I'm going to look at pictures. Oh, this looks... The blood in that looks disgusting. Ugh. It looks interesting. It looks like it might be some fun. Zach says, definitely not clickbait. I actually watched the video and expected a psych at some point, but nah, he makes some solid points, to be honest, and give a proper explanation for his points, too. Fair enough. I mean, everyone's entitled to their own opinions, you know? And, you know, I like chatting with it, and I like chatting with you guys and hearing your opinions and things, but I would never let someone else's opinion ruin what I think about something. And I would never, if I enjoy something, someone else's opinion about something that I enjoy, it doesn't bother me. So, you know, there's certainly a AEW sucks bandwagon out there that a lot of people are on, and, you know, good for them. Good for them. Marcel says, Zach, the guy is the biggest hypocrite I've ever seen. The points he made we heard for a long time. Man, you guys, I'm gonna have to watch this video. I have to watch this video. You know, I'm probably not. I'm probably not gonna. I'm so busy. Like, I don't have time. Marcel says his opinion was AEW had one good women's match this year, and Jon Moxley is worse than Dean Ambrose. I mean, yeah, I don't care. I can't be bothered. Yeah. It's not for me. Trevor says, guys, shouldn't we be excited? NXT was good tonight, and now we get blood and guts tomorrow. Yes. Yes. And Anthony says, Fire Pro Wrestling is such good shit. Yes, it is, my friend. Yes, it is. I highly recommend it. But yeah, NXT, I thought it was pretty good tonight. It was pretty good. Marcel says he literally just pissed they copyrighted him a long time ago. Yeah, that's why I think that's why the name sounded familiar. Yeah. And I mean, look, I went through, I heard all the rumblings, I heard everyone was pissed off. I went to this guy's channel, I looked at it. It's literally videos. Him talking over videos of things that have aired on TV. That's copyright. Like, in its most basic form, like, you're literally taking something that aired on TV and you're putting it on your own video and you're getting paid for such a thing. Speaking over a video is not transformative content. That does not fall under fair use. And fair use is what's the word? Fair use is subjective. Fair use is subjective. And it's in the eye of the creator, or more so the eye of the copyright holder. So if I am a network like TNT and I paid Tony Khan and AEW, whoever it is, I paid them $10 million, $5 million, $1 million, whatever it is, I don't care. I paid X amount of money to have exclusive rights to this TV show on my network. I don't want you, random guy on the internet, posting full videos of what is going on my TV show. So I get it. But like I said, we've talked about this a lot, kind of back in the day when all that stuff happened. Long story short is, I think that everyone needs to ease up on this sort of thing. If someone is like straight up posting, hey, here's the match from last night, the main event from NXT. It was a great match. Here it is in its full entirety. That's okay. Like, I see what we're doing, right? I see what you're doing. You're just completely ripping off my content and stuff like that. If you're just using shorter clips for things, like, I don't think it should be that big of a deal. Technically, if we're talking copyright, playing a video game on stream or on YouTube is like, they can flag you for whatever reason they want. So like, you posting a video of a game, like the story mode through a game, that publisher could flag you for copyright, and they could take all your stuff down if they wanted to. But the game industry sees that you posting those YouTube videos online helps lead to sales. There's tons of games that I have purchased personally after watching someone do a playthrough of sort of thing, or watching someone do a stream. So I think that there's some wiggle room in between there. Same with GIFs, shorter videos. I don't see any problem with someone posting a video about some crazy thing like Shotzi jumping off of the pillar through the table. If I post a video from that, I'm probably going to get a copyright thing off of Facebook for sure, 100%. Even GIFs I post to Facebook, WWE claims them. Videos, you can't do it, which is a shame, because I think more people would tune in to watch these shows. So, okay, let's get to all of this other stuff, because it's been 25 minutes and I've just kind of been rambling a little bit. Okay, so before some WWE news, very light, we'll take 2 seconds here. PW Insider confirmed today that the 2021 Extreme Rules pay-per-view will be on Sunday, July 18th, and it is slated to currently broadcast from the Thunderdome. So, pay-per-view, date set in stone. But more importantly about anything is that even in July, they're still planning to be in the Thunderdome. So, if I remember correctly, it seems like August is the date where people are kind of hoping that fans can return and stuff like that. So hopefully, God, man, fingers crossed for that one. Fingers crossed, please, for the love of God. Jeremy says too many stables, weird backstage segments, and like I said, it's just not my cup of tea. Yeah, I mean, to each their own. If you don't like AEW, then you don't like AEW. Like, I don't care to sit here and convince someone otherwise. It is what it is. People like certain things, people dislike certain things, and there's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it whatsoever. I do completely agree with you on, I don't know if it's too many stables or just the way that the stables are presented, but I do see the argument there, and I do understand, and I do get it. Yeah, I get it. Alex says, do you think NXT should bring back the Fatal 4-Way? I saw a lot of people saying that NXT should do an Elimination Chamber, and I like that. I would love to see an NXT Elimination Chamber. That would be amazing. Basili says, I am the face of the AOW Underground Revolution, and you will acknowledge me because I am better than you, and you know it. I am the best heel on the roster. Me. Hi, everyone. Welcome, Basili. How you doing, my friend? Hopefully you had a great night. WWE Emoji says, I like the Thunderdome at first, but I got very bored of it. I want something new. To me, it's the sound. It is the sound, man. The fan noise. Oh, God. I cannot take it. I can't take it. It is so loud. Like if they just tuned it down, it would be so much better. And there's not a constant roar of fans. Like fans are not screaming for 3 hours. They're just not. There's down segments in a match. And I think, that's what makes certain parts interesting as well. We've talked about this plenty of times. Like, yes, well, I'll use The Undertaker throwing Mick Foley off of the Hell in a Cell. One of the craziest things you've ever seen, right? You know that. It's crazy. But imagine if you just saw that and it was dead silent. There were no commentators. There was no fans in the building. You just saw it. You're like, damn, that is crazy. Now, we'll add to the picture the commentary team, right? Who says, they're freaking out. They're screaming. They're like, holy shit. Mick Foley just fell from 25 feet in front of me through my table that I was just sitting at. Speaking of, it adds another layer. It's like, okay, I see the visual. I'm excited. Now I hear a visual that I should be excited. So I'm excited. Then you have the crowd, right? Who's kind of like, they're quiet. They're like, oh, you're sitting in your chair. You maybe even standing up at this point, and you're like, damn, Taker's up there. Mick Foley's up there. Like, Mankind, whatever his name was at that time. Like, damn, this is crazy. Like, they could fall through this at any point. Oh, man. And then he gets launched off, and you're like, holy shit. You're freaking out. You're standing up. You're screaming. So you have that balance of things where it's like the calm before the storm, and everything just meshes together perfectly to give you like that perfect feeling. And I think the Thunderdome takes away from that so much. So much. Anthony says, damn, Mankind just fell. Holy shit. Yes. Yes. Ashley says, like, I'm sure that people aren't booing Roman out of the building. Yeah, it's a weird world we live in these days, isn't it? It's really weird. James says, according to Wrestling Edge, Becky Lynch turned down a TV return. She says she's not going to return until the fans return. If true, I could totally understand why. Sure, I absolutely understand that. I'm kind of to the point where I don't even want to watch regular main roster, Raw, or SmackDown WWE until fans return. It feels like they don't care. Maybe that's just me. Basilius says, like, Vince has been trying for years to get Roman Reigns to where he is today. The best thing in WWE today. And the piped in booing, when in reality the live crowd probably gave him a huge pop. So I don't mind. And I think that I feel like the crowd, even at WrestleMania, it feels like the fans know, right? And so like we know what this is now, right? It's not still real to me, damn it. Like, I know what they're doing. I know that everything is going on. So I think people will play the role of booing Roman Reigns because, people love MJF, but they still boo him, right? So playing the role of having Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is the best thing in wrestling right now. Hands down. Like, it's so good. And that's even aside from, like, the boring storylines that they just continue to tell over and over and over and the lack of follow through with things. But he's still great. Marcel says, did you see the Miz thing? He was like, WWE fans may think some people are ready, but WWE knows they aren't. I didn't see that, but I can understand that. I can understand that for sure. We don't know necessarily everything backstage, but I don't know. I wish people would be more transparent towards things instead of just trying to hide everything. It's a different world we live in. A different world. Chef says AEW matches are good, but I hate it when a thing like a tag team matches are just spot fest and no one is selling, like the Young Bucks. I like their storytelling, but a lot of the times their matches turn into spot fest. I can understand that. I can understand it. I don't mind it. I like it personally, but I can definitely see where people get turned off by certain things like that. A lot of people don't like that. A lot of people don't like the false finishes, how many of them there are. But to me, I'm more so of a person that enjoys multiple types of wrestling. So like, or styles, I guess would be the thing. Like, I don't mind a Young Bucks spot fest. I enjoy it. I also like some sort of thick boy match, you know, with Walter slapping the hell out of someone. I like Bloodsport type of deal where it's wrestling / MMA. I love an old school tag team match with FTR. Like I like all sorts of stuff like that. So to me, it doesn't bother me to me. But like I said, I can see how people are turned off on certain things like that. A lot of people are turned off by the Fiend and the magic and the Alexa Bliss stuff and the puppets and yada yada yada. But I don't mind. Alex says, was Raw and SmackDown ever good before the pandemic? I think they've all had episodes here and there where they were good, but they've been on a downfall for quite a while. I wouldn't put the pandemic as the reason why they're not doing well. Trevin says, I just want to see one of the greatest returns of all time, which would be Mauro Ranallo commenting wrestling full time again. Man, I miss him in NXT so much. I love Mauro. I miss him, and him commentating the Kenny Omega match with Rich Swann. That was chef's kiss. I love it. So good. Leroy says, I'm confused. Is Raquel Gonzalez a face or a heel? I believe she is a heel. James says, I have 2 ideas for the pre-order characters in WWE 2K22. 1, Bad Bunny. 2, Luke Harper. Sure. Down for that. Jeremy says, I'm going to go watch the AEW's trash video, BRB. Have fun, my friend. Marcel says, also 2 days ago, Jay White became a Grand Slam champion in New Japan and then cut a promo and said, I am the true and real belt collector, and I know someone else thinks they are. Oh, I would love to see it, man. I would love to see it. WWE Emoji says it's been almost a year now since Becky Lynch announced her pregnancy. That's crazy. It's crazy to think that her and Father Rollins have a child. So crazy. All right, let's go ahead and get into this. Let's talk about tonight's episode of Tuesday Night NXT. If you're here and you haven't already subscribed yet, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button as well. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, if you want to go that extra mile and support the channel, you can become a member as well. You can become a fellow disciple. Look at that. Oh, no, it doesn't work. Oh, what happened? Oh, my money is broken. Man, all right, I'll fix it later. And super chats are open as well. And you know what? If you want to be a extra cool guy, you can go follow. Hold on, wait for it. I said, wait for it. Make sure I don't spell it wrong. You can go follow my gaming channel, youtube.com/Phantom Spec. We will be doing more AOW Underground stuff, WWE 2K20, Universe Mode, Fire Pro Wrestling World, Wrestling Revolution 3D, Retromania Wrestling. We will be doing Breath of the Wild probably at some point as well. It'll be great. It will be great. It will be a lot of fun. Ashton says Ted DiBiase robbed you. That son of a bitch. He stole my money. It's right here. Why is it not working? Hold on. You know what? I will not stand for this. Weird. It's not paired to that. Give me my damn money back, Ted DiBiase. That's right, because we are going to the moon. There we go. Chef says, bro, I just need Virgil to return with Ted. AOW is Virgil approved, man. Virgil approved. I still can't believe that happened. Obi James says, can we agree that Grimes and Ted DiBiase is a better feud than anything on Raw? I agree, man. It's good. I love it so much. I love it. I was really excited when I heard the rumor that it was going to happen, and I couldn't be any happier that it turned out to be true. Anthony says, no, it was Humberto who stole your money. That rat bastard. Jeremy says that video was pointless that he made. That was like a 20-minute video. Did you scrub through it? Leroy says, I'm watching NXT TakeOver right now, and it's so weird seeing how NXT Shayna Baszler and main roster Shayna Baszler are two different people. The exhale of doom. Yes, it is sad. Trevin says, Paige over Eva Marie, meaning wishful thinking because I miss her and I want her to return. Doesn't even have to be WWE. I had heard at one point that she wanted to. I'm not sure how true that was. I didn't follow up and look. I kind of just see what is on my timeline. Yeah, we'll talk about the show right now. After I do this comment from James. James says apparently the WWE fans were actually pissed over Eva Marie return because it made them thought of the Black Thursday releases. So Eva Marie has been signed since September, October, or November-ish of last year. She was not hired after these people lost their jobs. It had nothing to do with that. She was rumored to come back around that time late last year and be paired with Angel Garza, but it just never ended up happening. So, all right, NXT. Let's go. We have 23 minutes. Tonight's episode of NXT kicked off with Isaiah Swerve Scott taking on Leon Ruff in a Falls Count Anywhere match. This match was excellent. I believe this is, I want to say, I'm not going to look it up, but I think this was the fourth match we've seen between Scott and Ruff, and they've all been good. They have great chemistry together. They work very, very well together. I like this match from start to finish. I think this was a great way to start off a show. It doesn't get much better than this when you're kicking off a show, right? It's crazy. The spots that they did were amazing. Leon Ruff was incredible. Isaiah Swerve Scott, incredible as well. Both of these guys are very talented, and it's nice to see them show off their talents. Especially for Leon Ruff, we talked about this when he was the NXT North American champion. I just don't think that any of that stuff fit. I don't think it was necessary whatsoever. I thought it made Leon Ruff look weak more than anything. He was just getting lucky. He was just getting those big wins that he wasn't necessarily earning. He was just in the right place at the right time in those matches to get those victories. So stuff like this really shows you that Leon Ruff is great at what he does. Had a lot of great spots. All of that stuff. Was a poison Rana he did off of the apron. That was great. The jumps that he was doing, crazy. Marcel says also Meltzer said the Tessa to AEW news is fake. Yeah, I saw a thing from Fightful Select today saying that it was fake. That was not it. And that the Diamond, what is it? Is it Diamond Mate? Diamond Mine, sorry. Diamond Mine stuff is not Tessa either. It is a group of people. Warrior says Isaiah's entourage are the people that are usually in the background of his promos. Yeah, and I really like the whole kind of rapper studio version of Swerve. I really like that. I just thought the finish was really weird. Did they really need to have that sort of finish for this match? And more importantly than anything, this was a Falls Count Anywhere match. Why did Scott take Ruff all the way back to the ring to pin him? Couldn't he have just pinned him out there where, oh God, what's his name? AJ Francis? Okay, so if you didn't see it, Leon Ruff jumps off of some sort of production thing. He's going to crash down on Isaiah Swerve Scott, but AJ Francis, who the fuck is AJ Francis, by the way, intercepts him, grabs him, and then does some sort of slam type thing on top of the barricade to Leon Ruff. That is where Scott picked him up, put him in the ring. I don't know what Scott's finisher is called. Hits him with his finisher and then pins him 1, 2, 3. Was it necessary to take him back to the ring? I don't understand. And AJ Francis. Okay. I have no clue who this guy is. Never heard of him before in my life. But everyone in my comments supposedly knows who he is. So, this guy says AJ Francis is from the WWE Lost Treasure show on A&E. So, that's interesting. Someone else says that AJ Francis is part of Swerve's podcast. Plus, he did the Hidden Treasure series for WWE. This person says, I've seen some of his matches before NXT, and he's pretty talented. Someone else said that he was in a football team or something. Where is it? I don't know. I can't see that one on my computer. Oh wait, this is a plus button. He's from the podcast. This person says AJ Francis is a former football player who played with the Dolphins for part of his career. I don't know. I just thought that it was really weird that they just have this guy. I don't ever remember seeing that guy in the back of his videos before. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to go back and watch them. I don't quite understand. I don't think it didn't ruin the match by any means. It was just a weird finish to me. It was just a really weird finish. Obi James says, don't false count anywhere matches usually end in the ring. I don't know. I don't have any sort of like statistics or anything, but I don't know. It just makes more sense that a false count anywhere match would the fall would happen somewhere else. Like this could have just been called a street fight, but I guess they have a street fight later on. I don't know. It could have been a no disqualification match or something. I don't know. It's not the end of the world. It was just something that I thought was weird. That's all. Didn't take away from the match at all. I thought this match was great. But with that being said, I'm done with Scott and Ruff. Let's move on. Let's have them go their own separate ways and do some other things now. This is like the fourth time that they fought each other. And like I said, the matches were great, but I'm just ready to, I don't want to see this repetitive stuff over and over and over. I don't want to see that happen in NXT. Chef says they're probably going to have a triple threat match between Finn, O'Reilly, and Dunn, and have Cole interfere with the match and attack O'Reilly while also having Dunn hopefully win the match. I could certainly see something like that happening. I would more so love to see just like a big multi-man match. That'd be crazy. Especially, I saw a lot of people, like I said earlier, talking about Elimination Chamber, an NXT Elimination Chamber match. That would be, yes, give it to me now, please. James says, big announcement. I am not going to be able to tune in to the AEW Blood and Guts post-show tomorrow because the show is a huge deal for me and I don't want to witness any spoilers. No worries, man. No worries. I completely understand. Blood and Guts tomorrow is crazy. I can't wait. I cannot wait for that. Trevin says, sometimes falls count anywhere matches end in front of the crowd, but not usually in the ring. Yeah, like I said, I don't have any sort of statistics on it. I just thought it was weird. I just thought it was a weird touch. Ashley says, have Leon Ruff go after Cross. Oh, God. And get lucky and beat him. Next up, we had a match here between, I wrote this guy's name down. Where is it? Asher Hale, who I thought was Shane Thorne. I was like, oh, damn, they got Shane Thorne back in NXT. But, yeah, no, his name is Asher Hale. Never heard of him before. I'm not familiar with him, but he was taking on Cameron Grimes. This was more so a glorified squash match, and I had no problem with it. I like these. I've said this a lot for all shows. Any wrestling promotion, every wrestling promotion in the world, I want to see more exhibition matches, right? I don't think that every single match in the world has to have a story behind it. I don't think that every match in the world has to build towards a feud. And I don't think that, like, you can just have matches to pad people's wins and loss records. And but without making someone look completely stupid. Like, I mean, this is funny because it was actually Leon Ruff, but Aleister Black squashed Leon Ruff like 7 different times, I swear to God, in like 15 seconds each. And it's completely unnecessary. And personally, for me, that doesn't make someone look better to me. I'm not looking at Aleister Black saying like, wow, he beat local talent guy in 30 seconds. He must be a superstar. You know, I look at Aleister Black going toe-to-toe with someone for 15 minutes, kicking ass, and I'm like, yes, okay, this guy, Aleister Black, he has what it takes. So for me, I mean, it is cool because Leon Ruff ended up getting signed to WWE after that. I remember him posting that he was on, I'm pretty sure that Leon Ruff was like on all 3 episodes of WWE TV, maybe even 4. He might have been on 205 Live too. But I remember him posting something about like dreams coming true, and it was him getting squashed on Raw, on SmackDown, on NXT, and like 205 Live or something like that, which is cool. But I don't think that does anything for anyone's characters. I mean, look at what happened to the Viking Raiders, right? They squashed people for, I swear it was like 18 weeks. They were like the most dominant tag team on Monday Night Raw because they were like the only tag team. And then they had that feud with the Street Profits, which just kind of brought their stonks down. It wasn't, I don't know, it wasn't for me. So for me, I personally, like, I would love to see, what I put in my caption was that, like, if you had 7 to 10 minute matches, maybe even those are a little bit too long for just TV matches. Maybe I'll loosen that up to like 5 to 10 minute matches where you have someone who you feel like is a potential star. They don't necessarily have to be a star, but someone that you feel like they have potential, someone like you feel like they could go the distance, right? So you put that guy in the winning spot, and then you put someone else who's like, okay, I see the talent in this person. They're not there yet, but let's get people familiar with this person. So, you know, they get some offense in, but the person that's ready to go over now, they get the win. The other person gets the rub because they had a good match. And now you're building 2 stars. Whereas in the other way, you're just wasting everyone's time because you've wasted 30 seconds of my life. You've wasted a win for Aleister Black that no one cares about, and a loss for Leon Ruff, and no one knows who the hell that is. So the squashes, I see them. They have a time and a place. Everything does, but exhibition matches, I'm telling you, exhibition matches, please, someone. And nothing has to make sense. You can have Brock Lesnar versus Akira Tozawa. Why? Because you got the shit end of the stick. And it's just an exhibition match. That's just the way it is. Like, everything doesn't have to be storytelling. It would be a more sports-centric feeling to it, if you will, where they're just matches because people wrestle and that's what they do. Not everyone has to have a problem with someone. It just makes more sense to me. Makes more sense. Jonathan says, hey, are you disappointed that they keep having Balor chase the NXT title and not face Walter? No, not necessarily. Not necessarily, no. Ashley says, don't do Tozawa like that. I'm sorry, Tozawa. You were the first name that came to mind. Just someone that's very, very high in the card and someone very, very low in the card. I'm sorry, Ninja Tozawa, but it's just the way that the cookie crumbles at the moment. But you get the idea that it could just be anyone because it doesn't matter. You know? It doesn't matter. Anthony says, for at least have 5 or 10 minute match with The Fiend versus Humberto Carrillo. Yeah, you could just get the shit end of the stick. Like, that's just how it is. You know? That is just how it is. Ayan says, hey, how are you doing? I just joined. Thank you, man, for joining. I appreciate it. Hopefully you're having a good day. Ashley says, Brock Lesnar versus Humberto. Yes, book it, please. Exhibition match. Pad that win-loss for Brock. Give him that W. Ayan says, did you see that Jinder Mahal returned on main event by defeating Jeff Hardy? Yeah, kind of a weird return, right? So Jinder Mahal, Jeff Hardy on main event, as well as Ricochet and Mustafa Ali as well. Supposedly they had a good match, but Jinder Mahal has been paired up with Indus Sher, which I thought was kind of interesting as well. I mean, it makes sense, but it's just kind of interesting. But anyways, of course, Cameron Grimes goes over on this, and I liked it. I can't complain about this. I would love to see more of these. WWE, put these on Raw. Put these on NXT. Put these on SmackDown. AEW, put these on Dynamite. Actually, Dynamite kind of does have exhibition matches sometimes, but it's okay. Ashley says, Jeff Hardy on main event, angry face. Yeah, kind of interesting, right? Kind of interesting. I wonder if Jeff Hardy what he's going to do when his contract's over. Will he resign? Will he go to AEW? Will he just be done? Will he just be a legend? I don't know. James says, Dana Brooke recently fell victim to the Deaf Rebel curse last night. New music? Oh my God. Really? I hate the new music, man. They took away Pete Dunne's music. I hate it. Chef says, my Raw card. Shayna turns on Nia Jax. Sorry, Big. Shayna chokes both Reginald and Big out cold. By the way, they lose a match to the Riot Squad for the belts. Miz Morrison versus the New Day, Raw #1 contenders belts. Sure. I'd even go as far as breaking up Miz and Morrison. Have them feud with each other. Let Morrison get the win and do something interesting with him. The guy's talented. And what the Miz and Morrison are doing right now is just kind of ultra trash, if I'm being honest. Aeon says, next week on Raw, you're going to expect Big Coming and taking a bubble bath with Reginald, I mean, fair point as well. Oh, God, please, no. Never. Obi James says it's not as bad as Nikki Cross's theme. Man, what a... oh, God. What a travesty. Nikki Cross's theme was so good. And they gave her a throwaway Lacey Evans theme song. It's crazy. And, you know, I heard the new NXT theme song the other day. I hadn't heard it before. I knew that there was a new one, but I'm always like a minute or two late, so I never actually hear it. They replaced I believe it was a Slipknot song. There was the "We Are Not Your Kind" one. They replaced it with a song from Poppy. It is not good. It is not good. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm too old. I mean, I'm only 30 years old, so I'm not that old, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just out of the Poppy demographic. I don't quite understand, but man, that theme song is trash. And if I'm being honest with you, if I didn't know that NXT was such a good show and that shit came on my TV, I'm 100% turning it off. Like there's no way. No way. That's how, oh God, it was so bad. It doesn't even fit. It doesn't fit with anything. That Slipknot, that I don't even like Slipknot at all. But that "We Are Not Your Kind," oh man, that was so good. So good. So I missed that. I missed it. Yeah, those bastards. Yeah, that's right, man. WWE Emoji says, should Nikki Cross join forces with The Fiend? Well, it doesn't really matter because The Fiend isn't on TV either. And everyone just keeps coming up with these stories for him. Like, you know, let WWE tell the stories, okay? Let them tell the stories. You don't need to make up your own stories for them. Don't come to me and tell me this story for The Fiend that you made up. The guy just hasn't been on TV. Anthony says, or you are just a heavy metal hater. Shame on you. I'm actually not, though. I'm not. Slipknot is not my type of music. I mostly listen to hip hop these days, but I do like I like a lot of different music. So I've gone through phases of my life where I've listened to metal music, I've listened to death metal, I've listened to tons of things. Slipknot was never one of those things that I ever really liked. Like I liked, you know, in terms of like the classic-ish kind of music, like, you know, I always liked your Megadeths, your Metallicas, your Panteras, your Anthrax, your stuff like that. Like that was always appealing to me. And then, you know, more of like the death metal stuff, like the Black Dahlia Murder. I love the Black Dahlia Murder, one of my favorites. Lamb of God I really liked as well. Did I listen to? I guess I didn't really listen to that much death metal because I can't really think of any other names. Yeah, no. I listened to a lot of that. I listened to a lot of thrash, Slayer, Violence, Exodus, like tons of stuff like that. So that kind of music has never really been appealing to me. But that song, I love that song. It fits so well with NXT. Ashley says, I like today's metal, Shinedown, Godsmack, Disturbed, etc. I've never really been into that kind of music. My dad always used to listen to Godsmack when I was younger, and Disturbed as well. Two bands actually that I really like that don't necessarily fit with the music that I listen to is Korn. I don't know why I've always liked Korn, and System of a Down. I like both of those a lot. I've seen Korn. I actually saw them. It was perfect because I wanted to see Korn live and my dad wanted to see Disturbed, and they were both playing together. So we went and saw it. It was interesting. And I went to Motley Crue Fest. I want to say the Godsmack was there. I don't know. It was like an all-day thing. Like we had to show up at like 11 o'clock in the morning or something like that, and it ended at like 3 o'clock in the morning. It was good. And I've been in a million bands. I don't think we've ever talked about this before, but I've been in tons of bands, metal bands. I've been in, I was kind of in a death metal band for a talent show type deal in school. It was just, we practiced one time and made a bunch of songs and just performed. So I'm into music. Like I'm into metal, like and stuff like that. So I've been on the radio. I've won Battle of the Band events at huge things. So like I'm into metal music. I'm just not into that kind of music. Ian says rumors are coming. Legends might come to Retro SmackDown this week, and I hope it's not Goldberg. Yeah, me too, man. And I wouldn't be surprised. Latrell says I actually like the Poppy songs. I've never listened to a Poppy song outside of NXT, so I'm not really familiar with her music other than that. She performed live at Takeover Portland. I didn't hear a word that came out of her mouth. I don't. It was just a bunch of noise. I don't quite understand. But yeah, I've never listened to her songs otherwise. Any AC/DC fans? Yeah, I like AC/DC as well. I like all sorts of music. I love hair metal and stuff too. Motley Crue, Rat, Slaughter. I like Slaughter a lot. Ashley says I already read that one. James says Mandy Rose's Def Rebel theme song only fits her and not Dana when they were tag teaming. They could have just used Dana's new song for their tag team and kept Dana's. Yeah, you would think. Obi James says Poppy is a guilty pleasure. I can understand that. I can understand that. Okay, let's continue on here because we're almost at that hour. Next up, we had an incredible tag match. I thought this was great. Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher taking on the Grizzled Young Veterans. This match was great as well. I tell you guys this every single time, but I absolutely love Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher as a tag team. I told you this before as well. I think like I was at a point where it's like, okay, if Ciampa isn't going to go to the main roster, what does he have left to do in NXT? Does he chase the championship again? Does he go to the NXT North American Championship scene? Was he going to feud with Johnny Gargano again? I don't see that. Never in a million years would I have paired them together in a tag team. And I love it. I love it so much. So much. And I think that they should be the ones to dethrone MSK. They should take the tag team championships off of them as soon as possible. As soon as possible. I love this team, and I hope it actually lasts for quite a while. Quite a while. We need to see this team for a while. I don't want to see them break up, especially because we watched them feud before forming this tag team, and the matches were good, but this is just an amazing tag team. Like, I look at Tommaso Ciampa, I look at Timothy Thatcher, they look like they belong together, and they look like they're going to rip you in half. They look like they're absolutely going to rip you in half. So I love it. I love it. I'm so excited. I'm confused at the finish. I'm not necessarily sure why Ciampa distracted the ref so that Timothy Thatcher could use Wade Barrett's shoe. I'm not sure how he even got Wade Barrett's shoe in the first place. I got a business call during this match, so I missed the ending of it, but Timothy Thatcher hit him with Wade Barrett's shoe and won the match. So, finish aside, another really, really solid match. I can't wait to see more of Ciampa and Thatcher. Ashley says, I'm afraid I've got some bad shoes. Yes. Chef says a contract signing between Lashley and Drew. Yes, they took Braun out of the match because fuck that. Ends with Lashley putting Drew through a table, and the match turns out to be a table match. Is that you booking next week's Raw? I would assume. Ayan says, would you love to see if Daniel Bryan faces Timothy Thatcher in a fight pit? Sure, if he can do it. Hell yeah. I want to see Daniel Bryan go to NXT and just put on tons of matches with some dudes that we never thought he'd be able to wrestle. And stretch him out. Stretch him out as long as you need to. I don't care to see Daniel Bryan on NXT every single week. If he just wants to show up and fight Pete Dunne, by all means, my friend, show up and fight Pete Dunne because we all want to see it. We all want to see it. Daniel Bryan and Johnny Gargano as well. Tommaso Ciampa, sure. Timothy Thatcher, sure. Like, let's go. Let's go. Adam Cole again? Yes, let's go. Give me a 60-minute banger at an NXT TakeOver with Adam Cole and Daniel Bryan. Please. Michael says, how are you doing today? I'm doing good, man. I am doing good. How are you doing? So, okay. So, like I said, towards the end, I got a business call. So, things will get a little wishy-washy right here. Ash says, I have to go now. See you tomorrow for Blood and Guts. Thank you, man, for tuning in. I appreciate it. Blood and Guts is going to be crazy, so I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good rest of your night. So, Karrion Kross came out. Cool Kyle came out. Pete Dunne came out. And Finn Balor returned. We have ourselves a nice little four-way here for the NXT Championship. I'm very excited. I'm not quite sure what is going to come out of this. I'm not sure if it's going to be a triple threat to see who is going to take on Karrion Kross for the championship. But what I really want to see, more than anything, is I want to see a fatal four-way with all of them. And, if they want to throw Johnny Gargano in the mix, sure. Now we're getting really, really close to an Elimination Chamber. Down for that. Screw it. You could throw in Daniel Bryan. That as the final participant. That'd be great. That would be amazing. Absolutely amazing. Michael says, I'm good, and yes, I have autism and learning disability. Well, I'm glad to hear that you're doing well, my friend. It's a pleasure to see you here again. Eddie says, elimination four-way for the NXT Championship. Sure, I would even be down for just the four-way. I would love to see that. Aeon says, isn't the Blood and Guts a little bit like War Games? Yes, it is the same idea. Pretty much the same idea. So after all this happened, I don't know how it got to this point, but Austin Theory and Johnny Gargano came out, and they attacked Karrion Kross. Next week, we have a match, Karrion Kross taking on Austin Theory. Next up, still on my business call. So, Sarray, she has another match tonight. It's against Zayda Ramier. And now, Sarray is 2-0. Get the win. Seemed like a nice little quick exhibition-ish glorified squash match, if you will, for this one as well. Everyone says great things about Sarray, so I'm excited to see. I'm not familiar with her outside of what I've seen of her in NXT at this point, so I'm excited to see what she can do. And it's going to be unfortunate when she leaves NXT and has to face the main roster, because that hasn't turned out well for most people. Asuka, Shayna Baszler. Next up was another segment for the Diamond Mine thing. So here's what I know about Diamond Mine. Okay? A lot of people think that it was a hint towards Tessa Blanchard because of the diamonds. It is not. Tessa Blanchard is not in talks with WWE. And according to Fightful today as well, she is not in talks with AEW either. Neither is Drago, whatever his name is, her husband. So, absolutely nothing to do with Tessa Blanchard. What I do know is from Ryan Satin. When this first aired last week, he retweeted a guy. I can't remember his name, but there was like 5, 6, 7 dudes or whatever. They were all in a ring. They're all jacked as hell. And there was a couple of them that posted stories that were saying like that they're like a diamond, or they kind of made diamond references in the things that they posted. So I think that Diamond Mine is a group. It's going to be like 5, 6, 7 dudes. I've kind of heard that it's might be Nexus-ish based in feel, but I'm not sure if that's true or not. But it's a group of dudes. It's a group of dudes. So I would expect them to show up fairly soon. And I'm not sure if they're going to be MMA kind of based fighters either, because that's what you get when you look at it. I don't know. Anthony says, what if Finn beat Walter and joins the Imperium and becomes the leader? That would be crazy. That would certainly be very crazy. Certainly not something that I would expect to see. Next up, we had LA Knight. Ha, ha, ha. Funny name. LA Knight. He defeats Jake Atlas. Another exhibition match. This is kind of where I was telling you that NXT kind of slowed down for a little bit. At least for me. We had this Sarray match. We had this LA Knight thing. We had the Diamond Mine. We had the Imperium segment where Alexander Wolf walked away from a via satellite Walter. Then we had that backstage segment with Candice LeRae and Eddie Hartwell, where they were talking, and Dexter Lumis was in the back holding some roses. And then we had Legado del Fantasma in the ring talking about how they beat the champions last week. And Kushida appeared on the kind of back Titantron thing that they installed and was like, yo, up here, you know? And he said, let's have a match for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship, I believe next week. I believe it's, or actually, no, I do know it's next week because they announced it. So yeah, so that is taking place next week. This was the down part. And then they went into, man, there's a lot of stuff that was just kind of a down. Like overall, the show was, I thought was good, but we're just in this little down segment here. Then we have Raquel Gonzalez, a side-by-side meeting, if you will, with Raquel Gonzalez and Mercedes Martinez, where they're going back and forth. Sub-Zero says, I think AEW doesn't want her. I would be surprised if people do. But like I said before, life's all about second chances, third chances, or whatever. So if she can prove herself and she's a better person than she used to be, then by all means, I think that she deserves to work. But I don't know. Eon says, not LA Knight anymore. It's bootleg Batman. Yes, it is 100%. He has like a throwaway Matt Riddle theme song too, which is kind of odd. Leroy says, Karrion Kross versus Kyle O'Reilly versus Finn Balor versus Pete Dunne versus Adam Cole versus Johnny Gargano in an Elimination Chamber match for the NXT Championship. Yes, please book it. Yes, 100%. 100. All I have to say is, damn, book it, please. James says, I'm not hearing say cheese tonight. I don't quite understand. Next up, we had a Cameron Grimes segment. Highlight of the night for me, man. I love this weird ass feud that we are getting between Cameron Grimes and the $1 Million Man himself, Ted DiBiase. It's so good. Cameron Grimes wins his match earlier tonight. Now, I think this was a club. I don't know, but he was trying to get into a building. The guy says, no, there is no list tonight. You're not getting in the building. Checks on his earpiece. Then you see a big stretch limo pulling up, white, with a money symbol on the hood. Ted DiBiase gets out of it and laughs in his face and says that everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man. Or he said something along the lines of, as well, like, why get on the list or something when you could just buy the building? And man, it's so good. I don't know what this is going to lead to. I don't know if, I certainly don't think that he's ever getting in the ring. I don't even know if he would be capable of doing such a thing, but maybe him in a manager role for Cameron Grimes, or maybe this just is what it is, and this is just all we're going to get, and that's fine with me. I love it. I love it so much. I think it's great. This character is perfect for Cameron Grimes. He is able to pull off this goofy shit so well, and I love it. I love how he's still wearing the hat, even though he's rich as hell. I love how he never has a shirt on. In this case, he did, but it's like wide open. I love every single thing about this Cameron Grimes and Ted DiBiase stuff. I want to see this every single week. And like Anthony says, it is such good shit. Yes, couldn't agree more. And you know what? While I'm on the subject, where is T and Shaw, by the way? This is what, the third week that we haven't seen T and Shaw? They were mentioned tonight. Caden Carter and Casey Catanzaro had a backstage interview where they did mention Io Shirai and, or not Io Shirai, Jesus, what am I talking about? I'm reading Io Shirai right here. They mentioned Xia Li and T and Shaw, but we haven't seen them for a couple weeks. So please come back. Please. T and Shaw and Cameron Grimes and Ted DiBiase on my screen is what I want to see every single Tuesday. Those are the highlights of the show for me. Charles says, no Io Shirai tonight. Yes, no Io Shirai tonight. James says, I hate when the main roster shows the COVID-19 vaccination commercials from the wrong brand, but NXT does it perfectly. I haven't even paid attention to that. I haven't noticed. Warrior says, I would love for NXT to have an Elimination Chamber match. It would be so good, man. So good. Next up, NXT announced 3 matches. This might be the only 3 matches that are on the card for next week as well, because these are some good ones. These are some very, Very good ones. We have the NXT champion Karrion Kross taking on Austin Theory. Just a regular match, no championships on the line. This should be a good one. And rest in peace, Austin Theory, because he's probably going to get murderized in that match for sure. Maybe we'll see some sort of program here with Karrion Kross and Johnny Gargano. If that is the case, I hope it's not for double champion stuff. I don't want to see Karrion Kross hold the NXT North American Championship. Charles says, I heard next week Gargano versus Reed for the NXT North American Championship. It could very well. I remember them making the match. Maybe it is next week. I don't remember though. I don't remember. But I do remember hearing something about that. If it's not this next week, it's the week after. Also announced for this next week's show, we have Raquel Gonzalez defending her NXT Women's Championship against Mercedes Martinez. Just a regular match. This one should be great as well. But the match that is going to steal the entire show, Kushida defending his NXT Cruiserweight Championship against Santos Escobar in a 2 out of 3 falls match. This is what I am tuning in for next week. 100%. Kushida kicks ass. Santos Escobar kicks ass. The 2 out of 3 falls match kicks ass. This entire thing is going to rule, and I think this is going to steal the show without a doubt, unless they do some like bullshit, but I don't think they will for this. I don't think they will. And I hope, Kushida, I hope you retain, man. I hope you retain. I don't want to see that flippy floppies with that NXT Cruiserweight Championship. All right. Obi James says 2 out of 3 falls match will be, wait for it,
such good shit.
Yes. Latrell says I think Dane versus Wolf next week as well. Interesting. All right, I'm interested. I'm interested with the whole like Sanity / Imperium type thing that's going on. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Anthony says, what is a 2 out of 3 falls match? Okay. So 2 out of 3 falls match means that you're essentially set for 3 matches. Okay. So 1 pin. If Kushida beats Santos Escobar, he gets a 3 count on him in a pin. The match is not over. It means that Kushida has 1 win out of the 3 falls. Now, if Kushida were to beat Santos Escobar again, he would have 2 wins, which would be 2 out of the 3 falls. So therefore, Kushida would win. The match would be over. But if Kushida wins the first one, and then Santos Escobar wins the second fall, that means both of them have 1 fall each. So they're tied, which means that it goes to the third one. And whoever wins that third fall is the winner of the match because they've won 2 out of the 3 falls, if that makes sense. So should be good. Should be very good. They almost always go to the 3 falls. Usually what WWE does, they had 2 out of 3 falls matches, like really close to when the first pandemic started happening. And what they did was they always had the first fall come really, really fast. Really fast. Anthony says basically an Iron Man match without a timer. Like an Iron Man match, but it has like the 2 out of 3 stipulation. So like here's what I'll tell you. This will make it easier. Whoever gets to 2 wins first wins the entire thing. So there you go. Whoever gets 2 falls first is the winner. And so like, okay, this has happened before. So let's say Santos Escobar hits Kushida with a chair. He's voluntarily getting disqualified for one of his 2 falls or one of the 3 falls. Does that make sense? I think Adam Cole did that in a match that he had with someone. I can't remember. He deliberately got disqualified because I'm going to beat your ass with this chair and it's going to be worth it. And I'll just get the other 2. So yeah. Rated C says, wanted to know your thoughts on MLW WWE possible partnership. I don't know too much about it other than what the gist of what I've seen is that it's for NXT people who have recently signed that are not being used on TV. So it doesn't seem like it's going to help MLW. It didn't say that it was a back and forth thing where MLW will send people over to NXT as well. It just kind of seemed like an NXT, people who aren't ready for TV or who aren't getting on TV will be on MLW, is what it seemed like. I saw an update from Fightful Select that said that there's nothing really solid yet, but the talks have gone high up in both companies. So for me, if you want my opinion on it, I feel like it's a way for WWE to probably end up buying MLW. That's pretty much it. Jeremy says, I have a prediction for what I'm assuming is Daniel Bryan going to NXT. What is it? Warrior says, oh God, that absolutely atrocious time when WWE were spamming the 2 out of 3 fall stipulation because Vince decided he didn't like wrestling during commercials. Yeah, dude, it was the worst. It was the worst. It's so crazy to see the weirdness of Vince McMahon play out on TV, where you find out those certain things, like you just said, about him not wanting wrestling during the commercials, and about how all the shows were affected like that, where they were on the outside of the ring and something happened or someone came out and distracted them, so they had to throw it to commercial or something like that. Like, that stuff. Versus Johnny at the next takeover? Sure. I would love to see Daniel Bryan versus Johnny Gargano at takeover. Yes. Michael says, are you going to watch AEW on Wednesday? Yes. Yep. I will be covering Blood and Guts tomorrow, just like I normally do. And we will have a Blood and Guts post show as well. Should be a good time. Should be a great show, by the way. Jan says, can you tell me that Blood and Guts is going to be an elimination match, or if you pin one person, the match ends? I think if you pin one person, the match ends, I believe. Skinny says, do you think that AEW will do a Bullet Club celebration tomorrow, and will Kenny try to get Cody and Adam for it? I don't think so. No. Who knows? Crazier things have happened. James says, Frankie Monet reminds my brother a lot of Cruella from 101 Dalmatians. Crazy. Rated C says, nah, they shouldn't buy MLW. It would be terrible if they want to show other companies they want to join the Forbidden Door. They don't need to buy a company. Yeah, but it's just what WWE does, man. They don't really work together. They just kind of acquire. Okay, so let's wrap this up here. Let's get to this main event. This main event was incredible. I loved the main event tonight for lots of different reasons. Not happy to see them lose the tag team championship so quickly, but no complaints. Shotzi Blackheart is crazy as hell. If you don't know what the main event was, it was Warrior says Blood and Guts is a tap or surrender. Nice. Okay, I'm excited. So it was Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart defending their women's tag team championships against Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell in a street fight. This match was great. It was very, very slow at the beginning. Maybe the first 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, something like that. It was very slow, but boy, did things pick up very, very quickly. Shotzi, man, okay. After we saw her do that dive like a week or two ago, I was scared that she broke her neck. So they had this chair contraption where they had like 4 chairs facing each other, and then they stacked one on top of it. They put Indy Hartwell on it, and then it looked like Shotzi was going to dive out to her. And man, I was just sitting there with like my prayer hands up, just like, please, for the love of God, do not let Shotzi Blackheart break her neck doing this crazy ass chair dive thing that she's going to do, please. There's just no way. And thankfully she got sprayed by the fire thing. Rated C says Candice is finally champion. It's crazy, right? Crazy. The fire extinguisher, that's the word I was looking for, by the way. Anthony says I didn't like the ending. Jan says I live in India, so AEW doesn't telecast the shows in India, so I don't know how to watch the match. You might be able to watch it on Fight. You have to pay for it though. You have to pay for an AEW subscription. I know it's not available to people in the US, I'm not sure if it's only people in like the UK, but it might be worldwide other than the US. So you could check that out if you wanted to. It's fight.tv, and it's just an AEW package. I think it's like $15 a month, $20 a month, something like that. Maybe cheaper. Obi James says, I was not expecting this outcome. I wasn't either, which is kind of why I liked it. It was very unexpected. Warrior says, Shotzi and the concept of near-death experiences go hand in hand. Yeah, it sounds about right. Sounds about right. So she laid Indy Hartwell down on the commentary table, climbed up on this pillar next to it, jumped off, big splash through the table. It was crazy. Absolutely crazy. I loved this match. I thought it was great. I'm still not a fan of shows running over their time. I think NXT went over by like 7, 8 minutes, 9 minutes this time. So I hate that. But this match was incredible, man. This was a great way to close the show. And like overall, if you take the beginning and the ending of NXT, it's great. Like that Falls Count Anywhere match with Isaiah Swerve Scott taking on Leon Ruff. And then you close it out with the Women's Tag Team Championship Street Fight. Hey, man, that's a fantastic show. That's a show that I want to watch. That is a show that I want to watch. So I loved it. I loved it. And it's crazy to see Candice finally have NXT Gold. She's finally done it. And Indy Hartwell. Like, everyone loves Indy Hartwell. And everyone's, I think WWE even trademarked the Index, which is like that couples thing, Indy and Dexter Lumis like mashed together. Arj says Daniel Bryan is now a free agent coming from Sean Ross Sapp. No way. It's true. Sean Ross Sapp says Daniel Bryan's WWE contract expired following Roman Reigns match. Let me read it. I'll read it all to you. This is breaking news. Breaking news. Thank you, Arj. Ooh, it's kind of long. Okay, here we go. You guys ready? Okay, it's fine. It's fine. I can go over. Okay. Fightful has spoken with sources both inside and outside of WWE that have indicated that Daniel Bryan's WWE contract either expired or was set to expire last week after his SmackDown match. Bryan was on the losing end of a WWE Universal title match to Roman Reigns, in which stipulated he leave SmackDown if he lost, and was quickly moved to the alumni section of WWE.com. High-level sources both outside and inside have noted that they'd heard of the expiration of the deal, but that Bryan had not spoken openly about his contract status that they're aware of. We also hadn't heard of any particular farewells backstage, as if he wasn't going to be around, although that doesn't mean they didn't happen privately. Bryan did an interview with TV Line where they noted that he was tight-lipped about when his contract actually ended, and Bryan said the following: "It's funny that people gravitate towards the date September, and I think it's because that's when my last contract ended, but it doesn't end in September. I'm still trying to figure out what that looks like. I had a tag team match on SmackDown last Friday, and it was a lot of fun, but my neck was just wrecked." They go on to say, "We should note that this doesn't mean that Bryan is leaving WWE, hasn't re-signed since, or that he won't work for WWE without a contract. As we're told, he's been vocal about doing some unconventional work with and for WWE. This wouldn't come as a surprise since he said as much in interviews. What we can confirm is that several talent within WWE had heard that Bryan's contract was set to expire. Fightful has reached out to numerous officials and representatives to get a comment or confirmation on the news, but thus far I have not heard back. We'll continue to work to get official confirmation." Crazy. Daniel Bryan supposedly a free agent. Damn. So I had heard that he was moved to the alumni section of WWE.com, but ooh, man, this is great. This is great. You love to see it, man. Like the article said, it's very possible that Daniel Bryan could just sign another contract. We've seen this multiple times where people's contracts have expired. I think it happened with Drew Gulak recently, where his WWE contract expired, but he wasn't necessarily ready to leave. They were just still negotiating a contract, and his current one happened to expire during it. So it's very possible that something like this could happen with Daniel Bryan. It's also, like they said, he's been very vocal about wanting to work in other companies, but still work in WWE. So if his contract is expired, maybe this could give him the opportunity to do so. And maybe WWE, if he's not on an actual contract, maybe they won't have a problem with it. Absolute insanity, man. Absolute insanity. I'm so happy. I would love to see Daniel Bryan show up and wrestle people. Like, it would be so cool to see Daniel Bryan show up at like smaller events too, like Impact or Ring of Honor or whatever it is, like even AEW, just to have these dream matches. NXT, still a possibility. Whew, man. Yes, please. Marcel says Bryan versus Omega, please. Yes. Yes. This is stuff that I want to see. Warrior says Bryan Danielson World Tour. Give me what I want. Yes. I cannot wait, man. I cannot wait. I'm very curious to see what this deal is going to look like. What it's going to look like. He's been wanting to work part-time. Will WWE allow him to do what he wants to do to keep him? He's that person we've seen in interviews plenty of times. He doesn't give a shit about anything else. So if they don't really let him do what he wants to do, he's one of those people that will just leave. So, oh man, we have some interesting days ahead of us. Some interesting days. I thought all of this was just to bring Daniel Bryan to NXT or to bring him to Raw to kind of boost ratings, but looks like it's the contract has expired. That's amazing. Absolutely amazing. I'm excited for the future, but that is going to do it for me tonight. It's been an hour and a half. I have a ton of work that I need to go do. And when I get done with that work, I'll try to sort out the AOW Underground stuff and get all of that ready for the next stream. Not necessarily sure when that is going to happen, but I'll try to plan it out. Chloe says Daniel Bryan doesn't care about WWE. He cares about wrestling in general, which is what I love. I love it so much. Like, I love someone who is just so passionate about what they do that they don't give a shit about anything else. Like, I love that so much. I love it. I missed what you said. He says also about the MLW WWE partnership. ACH and Leo Rush used to work for WWE, and they work for MLW now. So I don't know how they feel about that partnership. Interesting. Yeah, that's true. Very, very interesting. WWE Emoji says, gotta go AW. May the 4th be with you. You too, my friend. Have a good rest of your night. I'm about to get out of here as well. Jeremy says it's Daniel Bryan. There's no way they cut ties with him. Yeah, but you never know. The guy's got some crazy demands. He wants to kick through the forbidden WWE door and work elsewhere. So we'll see, man. Warrior says, imagine both Bryan Danielson and Samoa Joe return to their home in Ring of Honor. Crazy. Absolute insanity, man. Absolute insanity. Roman Reigns theme song. James says Roman Reigns' new theme song feels like a final boss level. Now I'm comparing Roman Reigns to Shao Kahn from Mortal Kombat. I'm not a big fan of Roman Reigns' music, but maybe it'll grow on me. I don't know. I guess we'll just have to see. Rated C says Bryan Danielson versus Kenny Omega. Yes, please. Yes, give me that match, please. Michael says good night. Thank you guys for tuning in. I really, really appreciate it. We will be here tomorrow. There will be coverage of Blood and Guts. There will be a post show for Blood and Guts, and there will be coverage for Throwback SmackDown, I think is what they're calling it. Throwback. So Throwback SmackDown will have full coverage. There will be a Throwback SmackDown post show as well. So lots of other stuff. Maybe we'll do a gaming stream on Thursday or something like that. We'll kind of, I don't know. We'll kind of figure it out. Chef says, see you tomorrow for a stacked post show. Hope you also enjoy the posters. Good night. Yes, I will check those out as soon as I get off here. I will check those out and I will shoot you a message back. James says, J Rocks. Yes, sir, he does. So hope you guys have a good rest of your night, and I will see you all tomorrow for AEW's Blood and Guts. Peace.